Hey, what's up guys? Today it's Trippin' and this is my second video I'm making today and putting on YouTube. This is also my second video on the channel. But okay, so this video is about one of my recent, it was like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, acid trips that was almost really bad. Yeah, just a lot went wrong in that trip. But don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. You can wait till after the video to see if you really like the content, and then go ahead and subscribe or like if you do. And I appreciate for watching the video. Like, I really appreciate it. It's helping me. I want to get like a hobby started out of all of this channel stuff and whatnot. Sorry if I'm talking a lot, but so let's go ahead and get into the video. So to start this all off, I went to my friend. We'll call him. I think he was in my last video. I gave him the name Andrew. So I went to his house. And this was recent. This was like a month and a half ago. I went to his crib, and I was like, alright, I wanted to drop some acid. I wanted to hang out that day. And this was when I was like kicked out of my house. Like, I didn't actually have anywhere to stay. I believe... No, this wouldn't be the first day I got kicked out. No. This was like a couple days into like me being kicked out. And so I was at his house. I walked over there, and I was like, yo, what are you trying to do? It was him and the other kid. I believe I named him Ethan in the last video. So I was with Andrew and Ethan, and I was like, yo, I'm trying to drop a tab. They didn't have any money for a tab, but I was like, I had some. So I hit up the plug, and I was like, yo, need to pick up a tab and whatnot. And I got it picked up. Not going to disclose any info about that, but as soon as I got it, pretty much as soon as I got it, I was inside. It looked sunny outside when I was out there. But as soon as I dropped it, we hanged out around in the house for a minute, just looked at it. I took a picture, put it in my mouth, took a picture of it in my mouth. And, yeah, I saw, as soon as the tab was fully gone, I was still hanging out inside. I walked outside, and it started pouring rain. And I was like, okay, that's not very good. But it was pouring rain, and I had to go down to the restaurant. It was a fast food place. I'm not going to disclose the name. Pretty close to me. It was about, it was a couple blocks down, so I start running over there, and, mind you, I've already tripped, like, a ton of times before this, but I start running over to the restaurant, because my friends are there, and so I'm running over there. It's pouring rain, like, I'm soaked, like a whole rain thunderstorm, and so I'm soaked in, like, water, and I get to the shop, the fast food restaurant, and as soon as I get in there, I sit down, and I say what's up to all my friends. And instantly, we're going to call this girl, what should we call her? Her name starts with a T. We're going to go with, Tiara. Okay, so Tiara, right, I had her vape. I don't know why I had it. Oh, yeah, I had it because I was hanging out with them while they were in school. I wasn't in school at this time because I recently moved down here. I used to live down here, but I wasn't in school just yet. So I was hanging out with them. And the school security came, and they picked them, because they were skipping, and school security picked them up, and she handed me her vape in case she got searched. Or she didn't even hand me it, some dude handed me it, who had it. So then I had her vape, and when I was at Andrew's house, I left it with his brother on accident, I didn't mean to. So as soon as I got down there to the shop, Tiara was there, and she was like, where's my Nick at? And I'm like, oh shoot, I left it down there. And she thought I was trying to steal it or something, so she started freaking out. And I was like, oh, alright, just call him and then ask him. His brother has it. And at first, she called them, and they were like, we don't have it. And then I was like, nah, I'm not playing around about this. I just dropped an acid. I just dropped acid. I'm not trying to have a bad trip. So, they were like, alright, yeah, we do have it. We'll bring it down here. And then they come down, give her vape. It's good. And then, I was staying at this girl named, we'll call her, what should we call her? We'll call her Eve. I was staying at Eve's house, and she tells me, she comes in the fast food restaurant, and she's like, yo, you can't stay at my crib again tonight. And I was like, whoa, why not? I didn't want to, wear out my welcome, but she said I couldn't stay anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I don't have anywhere to stay tonight. I got nowhere to stay. I just dropped acid. It's pouring rain. And then instantly, we sit in there. It starts kicking in about 30 minutes later. The walls start moving. I just got a huge smile on my face. everybody notices. They're like, yo, is it kicking in for you? And I'm the only one who dropped acid. Like, I was just a loner. They weren't even high. They were just hitting Nick. And then, this was after school. And then I was like, yeah, it's kicking in, bro. And then I look at my friend, Ethan, and I see, like, complex patterns forming on his face. They're like, like when you're on acid, and it's like that Cuban carpet looking texture, and it's just like slowly whisking like back and forth, and it's over everything. It was on his face, and it looked like little bugs were under his skin. And like I was looking at my hand, and there was like little mites in my under my skin, like there usually is when I trip. And these are some pretty good tabs, but I was like, they're gel tabs, 200 micrograms if I'm correct. And then I was like, yo, yeah, it's really cool. I had a big smile on my face the whole time, and I was just like pointing at people just laughing because I was tripping balls. And then we just sat there for a minute, and then this random dude, I don't even know his name, he came, and he gave me a skateboard. Like, he just gave me a whole skateboard. He was like 23, and so we were chilling there for a minute. This was like a whole hour or something we were chilling, like after I started tripping. And then he was like, yo, like I was really hungry, like I was genuinely hungry. So I was like, yo, can you give me a snack? And then he was like, yo, you can like go run down to the store and we can steal some together. And I'm like, all right, bet that. But I was tripping. So I walked down. He doesn't even go. He's just like walks behind me. So I walked down to this little like liquor store, and I grab something, and I just walk out. I was not sneaky with it, bro. I was tripping. And he just looks at me. I don't look behind me, and he looks at me, and he, like, signals that there's somebody behind me. And I just look, and this Indian dude walks out the store, and he's just chasing me. And I'm like, oh, crap. So I just book it, and I start running. And then he's right up on me. So I just tossed the bag of chips. They were hot fries. So I tossed them back to him. And then I just kept walking. I thought he would just, like, let me go off, because I was stupid. But he comes up and he grabs me, like he literally grabs me. And then he's like, if you come back to the store and steal again, I'll beat your ass. And I'm like, okay, alright. I was like, alright, sir. And then I just walked back to the little fast food restaurant. And I was like, alright, well that didn't happen. That went bad. So I was just like, I had a really horrible pain in my stomach because I was hungry. I haven't eaten all day. And I took a long walk down there to downtown. And so I was just really, really hungry. And I had a pain, like a horrible, unbearable, like I couldn't stand up, pain in my stomach. And then we ended up, what did we do? I went to Taco Bell. And so I went and grabbed the skateboard he gave me. And I just leave to Taco Bell and leave them all there. I'm like, yo, I'll be back. And then I just skate down there by myself, like trip an absolute sack to get myself something to eat. And then I come over, like, right by Taco Bell, and I walk in, and I try to order. Like, as soon as I'm trying to order, I just look at the person who's going to take my order, and I just start, like, busting out laughing. Like, I cannot control it. I'm just, like, a big of a smile on my face, just rolling, like, huge bowling ball pupils, bro. I could not concentrate. I was like, can I get a burrito? I'm like, a burrito? And I'm like, yeah, can I get a burrito? And they're like, would you like red or green? And I was like, red. And I got my red burrito. I handed them like $5. And then I like, they were going to give me change. And I just like walked away. And they're like, your change. And I was like, okay. I come back and I grab it. And I just like stuff it all in my pocket. And it took a couple seconds. I was like, can I get a water cup? Because I was thirsty. I got my water cup. The burrito came out real fast. So I got my red burrito. I sit down, I try to prop my skateboard up against the wall, and it just falls down and makes a huge loud like slamming sound, and everybody just looks at me, and I just prop it back up, trying to hide my face, and I'm just sitting there, and I try to munch into this burrito, and I swear to God, it is the weirdest texture, and I cannot eat it. I try to take a couple bites, like with every bit of manpower I have to just eat a little bit of this burrito so I'm not hungry. I just cannot eat it. So I'm like, all right, well, that's that. I just throw my burrito in the trash, and then I ride back over to where they're at, where everybody else is at. And they're not there. They're gone. And there's just, like, 2 random girls there that go to the school that they go to. So I'm like, all right, I'll just sit with them. And I'm just hitting Nick for a minute. I get this weird feeling to just quit nicotine, but I didn't. at that point. So I'm just like, all right. Well, they all come back in. They're all coming back into the store. So I'm like, okay, that's good. And we just talk, and they're like, are you better? And I'm like, yeah, I felt a little bit better at that point. So I was like, yeah, I'm chilling. What are y'all trying to do? And what did we do? We just sat there. We were all like in a group, just talking, laughing about stuff, hitting the Nick inside of a fast food restaurant, and we were just having a blast. I wasn't having the best time, but I was having a pretty chill time. Like, it was pretty good. Just the feeling in my stomach made it horrible. And at that point, it stopped raining. Like, it stopped raining just then. So I was like, all right, the sun's starting to come out. And I was just thinking, I thought, what am I going to do tonight? Like, where am I going to go? And that was just, like, the worst feeling ever. Because when you freak out on acid, like, you freak out. And I was tripping pretty hard. So I was like, alright, I don't know where I'm going to go tonight. But I guess I'm just going to figure it out. Like, I think I'm going to go back to my house tonight. Just see what happens. So I ended up going with my friends. We went around town. My bad, I had to do something real quick. But, so at that point, we were just chilling, and we started to walk around. Like, we were walking around town, just skating around, looking for something to do. And I had a skateboard. I was walking at that point, but I had a skateboard, so I was like, that's pretty cool. We ended up just, everybody started getting picked up because we had nothing to do. They were drinking. They were doing all that. The time flew by like that. Like, the day went really fast. And everybody was drinking. I wasn't. I was just casually on acid. But then I was chilling, and we all started to go home like everybody else did. So I was like, all right, don't know where I'm gonna go. So I went with this kid. We're gonna call him Keith. I went with Keith and Reynold. Okay, I went with Keith and Reynold to walk down to a different store quite a ways away. Alright, so me and Keith and Reynold were walking up to the store, just messing around, having a blast. And I kept talking about my visuals, because I kept seeing eyeballs, like, everywhere, like, staring at me. It was pretty creepy. And I was talking about it, and then Keith was like, nah, bro, you're lying, that doesn't happen. And this fool never done acid before, and I was like, yo, okay, it sounds not real, but, like, I literally see little eyes just looking at me, like, everywhere in my vision. Comment down below if you've had that before. But we walked up to this area, and then I was just staring at walls, just kept talking about my visuals, and they're like, yo, stop talking about it, bro. That's a new rule. Don't talk about your visuals when you're tripping on acid with us. I'm like, what are you... Okay. So, later, I ended up having a fight with this kid, Keith. Like, it was pretty bad, but... Well, it wasn't the worst, but... So, I was like, alright. I had to catch, like... Reynold had to go see his family, and Keith had to go. So I was like, alright, bro, I'll catch y'all. I was going to go home this night. This was the night after a week of being outside. Like, just staying at friends' houses where I had to go home. So I was like, alright. And my house is 3.5 miles away from where I was, exactly. Like, I know that because I go down there all the time, like, directions. So, 3.5 miles uphill on a skateboard, well tripping balls. So I'm like, alright, I'm on the way home, and I'm walking. I'm not even skating. I'm just walking and looking at the sky, just thinking how beautiful it is. And there's like a laser, like, I swear to God, there's a laser force field just surrounding me. And it's like green and red lasers in the sky everywhere. It's super trippy. And the clouds are like glitching out. And like, it looks like your frames are low when you're on a large dose of acid. Like your field of vision just glitches out, like randomly. Just shifts out of place and back. And, so that happened, and I'm just walking home, and I finally, still tripping, just looking at everything. I walk up the hill. I'm about to get home. I'm just talking to myself. I'm like, why do I do this? Why do I do this to myself? Because that was like a semi-bad part of a trip, and I've had worse. Like, I'm going to talk about those in another video. So I'm walking up to my crib, and I walk straight in. The door was unlocked. I just walk in, go straight to my room. My dad just looks at me, and he's like, yeah, you're pretty messed up. Like, yeah, I'm on acid. But we had a pretty large talk about everything, and I was literally tripping balls, just like describing the visuals. Yeah, so I was at home. I didn't sleep for a large part of that night because I was still tripping. That trip lasted a long time, and it was a pretty strong trip. But it was fun, part of it. And yeah, that was that trip and that video. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below. What do your guys' trips look like? And just tell me what do you guys do? You trip on acid, shrooms, you do Molly, you smoke weed, yeah. Yeah, what do you guys like doing? But comment down below any new video ideas for like vlogs or a podcast or something like that if I should do that. And thank you guys for watching very much. And have a nice day. Appreciate it.